Hi, welcome to room 2628, the West Building of Adlai E. Stevenson High School for the 10U Cougar Parent Meeting. I respect your time so much this fall that the LZBSA wanted us to have a parent meeting this September, and I know how difficult it is for parents to carve out time for a parent meeting where everyone's lives are very busy, so I thought that I would film a parent meeting, and then I'll send you the link to this, going over all the information that I hope that you find necessary for the upcoming season. And again, after this meeting, after you view it, after you probably will end up deleting it, which is fine. If you have any questions, just email me or give me a call, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. So I do have quite a bit of information to go over. So my goal is to go through this quickly and cover everything before my fourth period class comes in. All right, so I'd like to start just want to introduce myself to those of you that don't know who I am, other than just through my emails. Again, Paul Mazuka. I grew up locally in the area. I went to Rolling Meadows High School, played baseball there. And then I've been, after Rolling Meadows, I went to Illinois State, got my teaching degree, and from there, since 1989, I've been teaching high school and coaching high school baseball as well. My lovely wife, Audrey, also a school teacher, and we are blessed with two young sons, Dominic in 8th grade and Joey in 4th grade. And I've been here at Stevenson for the last 19 years, in which I've served on the baseball staff for the whole time until 2015, when I stepped down from being head coach so I can to coach my own sons. And so I've been coaching baseball for quite a long time. Area of emphasis before I became head coach was the pitching coach. So if you have any questions on that matter, please feel free to ask. So know that your son will get the proper pitching instruction and, more importantly, and use. Definitely don't want to overuse anybody. All right, so my coaching philosophy for practice. Number one, be on time. We have to value time. We get a very short window of time with kids for practice, and I use every minute of that time. We don't waste a minute. We keep things moving along. So I know sometimes it's out of your control, but please have them there before the allotted time. As I try to tell my own sons, if you are on time, you're late, and if you're 10 minutes early, you're on time. So please if you can get them there to practices a little ahead of time, they're greatly appreciated. We would like to start as soon as the start time allows. So during practice, a couple of points of emphasis: working hard, fixing our flaws or our deficiencies as a ball player, which they're 9 years old. There are a lot, and so our goal is to, with positive reinforcement, to improve their individual baseball skill, be it throwing, pitching, hitting, catching, base running, which is often overlooked. Those are things that we will address as a staff. And so from an individual standpoint, those will be addressed in every practice. So practice is broken down for individual skill and then team skills. Now, my last, but certainly not least important goal from that aspect is how to be a good teammate. And what does it mean to be a good teammate in baseball? And part of it is from the mental side of know your job, know your responsibility when you're on the field. And since baseball is a game of dealing with failure, sometimes the kids will get upset, and I want our boys to pick each other up and to be a good teammate in that capacity. Every single one of these kids will strike out, they will make an error, they will make a bad decision on the field. That's understandable. I want to have 12 kids that will be there for their teammates when things go bad. All right, so that's want to be a good teammate. My goals or philosophy for games: to compete. It's not so I'm not a wins loss. Do I want to win? Of course, but that's not my primary function. My primary function is to turn them or create competitors out of them. And whatever happens during the game, that's we need to learn from it, either from a win and from a loss. Either way, if our boys learn how to compete, that's going to serve them well. So you're not going to, you will not see me or hear me get on any boy for making an error, for not making a physical error. That's going to happen. The mental errors are going to happen as well, and those are the ones that we'll address when we get in the dugout. So, what do I expect from you as far as a parent is when you come to a practice or a game? Obviously, practices are, if you want to stay and watch a practice, be my guest. Try to let the coaches coach, and during a game especially, please, refrain from coming up to the dugout and talking to your son during the game, unless you're there to give them something to drink or give them something to drink for the coaches. Please let the players be, and encourage all the kids. All right, they're 9. Baseball's supposed to be fun, and just please be encouraging and understand the umpires will make at least 3 to 5 mistakes a game. They're human. Let us handle it, please. All right. My assistant coaches this year will be Kevin Gallo, Jay Erkman, and Jeff Guzak. So they're all bring great contributions to our Cougars bench. The fee. LZBSA has set the fee at $1,000. You've all paid your $200 deposit. From what I understand, there will be another $400 payment due in October and another $400 payment due in November. They told me those are going to be online, but I have not been given a link or anything yet as to how those are to be paid. So as soon as I get that information, I'll give that to you. And they also told me that uniform fittings are going to be in November. When I get that date, I'll send it off to you as soon as possible. So that's what I've been told. My goal, and I've met with my coaches already, we're going to do our very best to keep that cost to $1,000. I know there'll be other Cougars teams that are going to go beyond that. Please don't compare us to other Cougar teams, or if your son has played on other teams before. I have a slightly different philosophy, and spending a lot of money, needless, is not what we want to do. So we're going to try very, very difficult to keep it at $1,000 and not go over that. That being said, I was also told that in case we only spend $800 per family, each family does not get that $200 back. So it's going to cost $1,000. I'm not really sure why we can't give our money back, but I think that's a conversation that we have to have with the administration of LZBSA. But that's what they told us. No refunds if we go below $1,000. So we'll agree to disagree with that philosophy at this point, and we'll move on. But again, my goal is to keep it right there at $1,000, which is a lot of money. What does that $1,000 cover? Our league costs. We're probably going to join the MSBL. I believe that's the Mid-Suburban Baseball League. That's the one that's come highly recommended from some people. I believe it's supposed to be a competitive league, which is what we want to do. We don't want to be in a league that we're going to dominate. We don't want to be in a league that we're going to get dominated. So we want to have some good, healthy competitions. The league will cover 2 uniforms. I kind of like what we did have with the Grizzlies last year, with the kind of the little heavier blue, but not too heavy, and then a lighter alternative jersey that we'll use either for practice or for another game. So we'll have 2 uniforms. They want everyone to buy 2 pair of pants, so we're going to buy 2 pair of pants, hats, socks, belts. You have to buy a helmet. They want everyone having the same LZ blue helmet. And I'd like for everyone to have either a blue the Cougars hoodie or pullover. I haven't seen them yet, but one of those 2 things. So on cold days, when we're warming up, we look like a ball club. Right? Again, I don't know what those are going to look like yet or cost. That's out of my control. But I would like to have everybody on the team to have the same hoodie or pullover. And other than that, there's nothing else that I'm going to mandate. I'm not going to mandate everyone buy bat bags and have that. There will be teams that will have that. We're not going to have big banners and signs saying, "Look at us, we're 10-year-old Cougar teams." No, we don't need to we don't need a bloated budget, and so we're here to trim costs, not inflate. That fee will also cover tournament fees and indoor practice fees, which I'll talk about in a little bit. All right, back to the league again. MSBL. My goals to have games in early May, maybe late April through June. From what I understand, it's going to be about 18 league games, 1-8, and hopefully we'll have at least 10 of those at home at our friendly confines in LZ. As far as tournaments goes, I know that you can go all over the country for baseball tournaments. That is not, as I told you before in my emails, that's not something that I want to do as far as traveling and cost. I don't want to incur extra cost. So we'll do 3 local tournaments, most likely on Memorial Day weekend, one in June, and one the weekend after the 4th of July. I do believe there's a league end of the league tournament with the MSBL, so that would probably be our 4th tournament. So again, not in a hurry to spend extra money for travel expenses that we don't need. So that's what the $1,000 will cover. Again, we'll keep that best we can at that $1,000. As far as practices go, I'm going to continue our practices this fall until the weather dictates otherwise. I don't see us really going past mid-October. I think the boys need a break. So I'm thinking mid-October is when I'll finish. I know football's definitely going on. Indoor basketball is going on. Soccer is going on. That's what I want kids to, I want them doing other things. So when we shut down in October, again, this is where I'm going to fall on my expertise or experience of being a high school coach. I don't want your boy picking up a baseball once they set it down in October. They don't need to pick up a ball for at least 3 months. Again, I know other Cougar teams are going to start working out in January. We are not. So as far as, a 9-year-old arm, a 10-year-old arm, a 15-year-old arm needs at least 3 months off of throwing. And there's a reason why elbow and shoulder injuries are on the rise. And they might feel fine at 10 years old and 11 years old throwing in January and in December. But when we get them at 15, 16, 17, that's when you see the wear and tear on the arm. All right, so they're 10. They're not going to feel it. They're not going to say, "Oh, my labrum's sore, Dad." It's not going to happen. Well, when they're 15 or 16, that's when those come in, and that's from overuse when they were young. So please resist. Again, I know other teams are going to go January. We are not. So we're going to kind of trace out where you need 6 weeks of throwing to kind of get your arm conditioned before we really have solid outdoor practices in game type situations. So we'll start our indoor in February, and I'll get to some of those dates in a little bit. All right. So I don't want any of your sons or my son to, when they're in high school, having elbow and shoulder surgery when we could have prevented it at 10 years old, right? I already have 5 Saturdays booked at Main Street Sports in February and March, and I'll send those dates and times in an email as well, but starting on February 17th, on Saturday, we have one on the 17th, February 24th, March 3rd, March 10th, and March 17th, and we have 2-hour slots. The goal is also to look for one place midweek to just play some catch and kind of get our bodies ready for baseball. And we're looking at some indoor facilities at this point. As soon as I have all those dates hammered out, as far as midweek, I will let you know. Please email me if there's a certain day during the week that you know won't be very good. Please let me know. All right. I'm going on spring break the last weekend of March, so March 24th is out as far as organized team activity, but feel free to work out that week of spring break, up to you, all right? Once April comes around, our goal is to get outside and There might be some times with the weather that will force us back inside, but I'm looking to get outside in April. Those of you that know me, I'm not a big fan of cold and rainy weather, so I'm not going to sacrifice injury or discomfort just to be outside. So if the weather's going to force us inside, I have no problem with that. But we'll definitely look to get outside in April. All right. So what can you do on your own? The last couple of weeks, I've made some training videos with the help of my son and some of the other members of the team. I did a training video that hitting video with drills, a speed and agility workout that your son can do, and then some throwing drills once we get into February. That if you want to go to a place on your own or a room in your garage, these videos will help you to get your son acclimated to more of what we're going to be doing and once the season progresses. So they're not professionally done. I want to let you know that right off the bat. But the goal was to give you at least drills that you and your son can do during the off season, and then obviously once we get into season, we could you can add throwing drills. But I have no problem with them swinging a bat in the winter just to work on the swing. But if they're going to swing a bat, please buy a tee, and that's probably the best off-season tool that you can have: a bat and a tee, and patience, because it's not their swings aren't they're not final yet. All right. So look for those emails in the next week or so with those links to our videos. All right. So I wanted to cover introductions, costs, indoor schedules, and tournaments. Again, I want to have 3 local tournaments. You know, I know the big tournament when they travel is 12 is to Cooperstown. That's my goal, is to go to Cooperstown, New York, which I know will obviously inflate the cost at least by another $1,000. But at this point, I don't want to have an unnecessary expense. So ideally, I'd like to wrap up the season by either the weekend after the 4th of July, and the very, very latest, the second weekend in July, and then that's family time. So after that, boys are 10 years old. There's no reason to make baseball a chore or a job for them. I don't want kids to be overused, and that's kind of where those sometimes boredom with the game sets in, and overuse injuries. So there's really no sense to go from January to the end of July for a 10-year-old for baseball, unless you just want to rip the joy of baseball from them, which is of course not our goal, because everyone here on our staff absolutely loves the game of baseball, and we it's our passion. So we want to keep that passion for our 10 years old, right? So I don't want to burn them out, is pretty much what I'm trying to say. So thanks for coming. I have a few more minutes here before my period 4 comes in for a little U.S. history. Please feel free to call me on my cell, 847-922-0225. Again, 847-922-0225. And obviously you have all of my email address, pmazuka@d125.org. And if there's anything that I did not go over at this parent meeting, please email me with any questions that you have. Again, the purpose of this is I value your time. Now, I know the fall is really booked with time, and getting everyone together for a parent meeting is difficult. So I hope that you found this to be convenient, if somewhat comical, and I appreciate it. General Jackson, of course, loves it. Thank you. And again, please feel free to contact me if you have any information or something that I did not cover. Thanks a lot, and I'm really looking forward to coaching, and thank you for letting me have your sons for 10U Cougar Baseball. Appreciate it. Thank you.